I'm Tom Wilkerson, and I'm the president and CEO of CertifyMe.Net. Besides running our little tech company, like I said, I'm an ex-crane operator, so I'm not a real tech-savvy guy, but I know what I wanted and what I needed as a business owner. I was a crane operator for my dad, and then he sold his crane and rigging company in 1980, and I was 19. And then I started my own from scratch when I was 27. I was in the Army for a few years, had a good time. I was stationed at Fort Hood. I was a recon scout, 19 Delta. We drove the Bradley tanks and recon. Applied and got accepted to helicopter flight school to be a warrant officer, and decided not to go. Got married in the meantime, came home, started working, and one thing led to another, and I started doing some demo work and in addition to operating cranes. And a couple of guys approached me about doing some rigging, and it just kind of took off from there. When I sold the crane company in 2001, right after we had gotten this thing going, I was really relieved, because no one ever got hurt on our jobs. No one ever suffered one single injury. But I was worried about it. I knew it was something that the more we did, the chances are greater that somebody's going to get hurt or have a lapse in judgment or just forget something. And so it was really gratifying that I could build a company, sell it, not have anyone get hurt on my watch. That meant a lot to me. And the things I like to do outside of work is I really love deep sea fishing. We go in Mexico and the Sea of Cortez and California. And I also have a passion for Grand National boat racing. A lovely wife I've been married to for 26 years. I've got a 25-year-old kid with an engineering degree. He has a job, it's wonderful. And I have a 23-year-old daughter who is pursuing her degree in philosophy and art. CertifyMe.Net is an online forklift operator certification and training program that allows employers to really quickly and easily train and certify their operators in-house the way OSHA wants you to do it. I went to the training at the forklift rental company and paid $1,400 for some videos and a kit to train my guys, and wasted an entire day there. And we were going through the program. He said, we were going through the regs, and it said interactive computer learning is an accepted way to get the classroom portion. So instead of wasting all the time in the classroom training, you could actually do it on the internet or computer learning. I thought that was great. So we put together a tutorial just for our guys that we were going to make available on our interweb. And we decided to make it available to the public, and it just took off. There's the classroom training and certification. Then there's a hands-on evaluation that has to be site-specific and equipment specific. So I can't just go out and drive a forklift around at the safety guy's yard and come back to our place and drive our forklifts around and be in compliance. It has to be site specific and equipment specific. So we provide all the documents you need in an easy checklist to be able to perform that critical second function. Is that every 3 years OSHA requires that you renew the licenses. They don't require that you go through all the training again. They don't require that you have to be recertified. They just require that you update a hands-on evaluation form of some kind. And so we've always, from the very beginning, since 2000 when we started it, we've given those away for free. Because it would really irk me if I had to go back and pay again 3 years later to get the exact same training and certification. A warehouse manager or a superintendent on a job site or whatever can literally have a handful of guys supervised in about an hour. At the end of the course, we ask everybody to give us a review, and it's really great when people just, they're like, this is great training, it's perfect, it's simple, it's easy, it's fast, it covers everything. And even, guys that have been operating forklifts for 20 years will say, I've been operating forklifts for 20 years, and I still learned several things. This is great. I'm going to recommend it to my friends. We were approached by safety guys a lot. They wanted to come in and they wanted to do a giant safety audit and charge several $1,000s. And we're going to be in your plant and in your business and, up in your business for a week going through every little thing. And then they come back with all this stuff we're supposed to fix. And how much is it going to cost to fix that? So it's like the consultants that come in and they say, okay, here's the things you ought to do, but we're not going to help you do it. We're just going to tell you what you ought to do. So I figured there had to be a simple and easy way for people to just get the certifications they need and keep moving down the road. Some of these guys, they want to charge thousands and thousands of dollars to come in and just waste everybody's time. In a lot of situations, it's just common sense stuff. But with OSHA, if there's no documentation of training, it didn't happen. The greatest thing about the way we train operators now is that we train so many. I mean, just literally on a monthly basis, thousands of operators go through our program. So we get this great feedback. I'm so fortunate, the team of people that we work with in developing the program and developing the training courses, and developing how the customer interacts with our websites is really a lot of fun for me, because literally anything I can think of, they can make it happen. You know, if I think, oh, well, I'm always the best test case because I'm not tech savvy. If there's any way that there's a guy that's not going to be able to figure it out, it's me, because I'm not that way. So I'm always the final test on, you know, if Tom can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. The biggest thing I wanted to do is make sure that it's compliant, because I'm not a safety guy. I didn't, you know, grow up being a safety trainer and all that stuff. I was a business owner, and I just needed to get this done and make sure it's done correctly the first time. Building the courses was actually, once I dug in, was actually quite simple. On the OSHA and the regulations, they have a laundry list of items that you have to be trained in, like if the truck rolls over a loading ramp, or, you know, falls off a ledge or tips over, stay in it, ride it out. Don't try to jump out, because you can't jump faster than the force of gravity. And make sure you wear a seatbelt. Make sure you do a pre-operation inspection. Make sure the forklift's not broken or damaged. Does the horn work? There's some steps that they want everybody, whether it's a beginner or somebody who's been driving a forklift for 20 years, to be knowledgeable of. And from the OSHA standpoint and from an employer standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, because if one of my guys drives the forklift off the loading dock and unfortunately, you know, tragically is injured or killed someone else, I can prove to OSHA or my liability insurance company that, hey, I trained this guy, don't do that. He, you know, signed off and he was trained, don't jump out of the forklift. So if he does, it's kind of on him. With OSHA, the big key is the training didn't happen if it wasn't documented. So that's what we've created, as a program to document all the training that happened, all the evaluation of that training that happened, and the hands-on evaluations.